Media, I want all your cameras to be on Ablekumanov and see whether what Dr. Numaku just said, having 281 book seats, will be produced here. This is a... Well, just wait. All the cameras should be on Ablekumanov and let's see whether they can produce that 281 big sheet. They stand there and Dr. Sribo is saying we should allow MPP to produce their soft copy or scanned copy for collation. Where has this happened before? Now, that is why we are producing 62. But Dr. Nimaku, who all this while, MPP Ablekumanov said they do not have a single pink sheet. Today, is telling us they have all the 281. Today, I am happy you asked him that question. That all this while they've maintained they do not have a single pink sheet. How come this today they have all the 281? They are not even talking about 62 again. They are talking of having possession of 2. I want all your cameras. I challenge Dr. Numaku. Even today, he cannot produce 281 pink sheets. Just as he told you a minute ago, he can never. It is a total lie. He brought a pink sheet from other centers and look, how do you? This is saying they don't have pink sheets. They don't have soft copy. And Dr. Sribo is telling us we should allow MPP soft copy for collation. How do we allow a political party's soft copy for collation? Why has this happened before? They should give us one constituency that EC use soft copy for collation, not from the EC, but from the MPP. Where does this happen? It is up to the commission. And Chale, what is happening in Ghana? Is it a one-party state? What is happening? What is happening? It's party for MPP. This is a constituency, the 2020 election. You beat NDC with a difference of over 24,000. And today you are claiming you are winning with 4,400 votes. It will never happen.
For the past 28 years.
Why have you used that? Why have you used that?
It is not just a matter of changing of table. It's an issue of, because we are closer to the media, we can easily turn and call the attention of the media to see exactly what is happening on our table. Now, when you locate us to that end, how are we going to call the media to come and put your cameras on whatever we are doing? You see, because we told you from the beginning that whatever we're going to do, we will make sure that your cameras will pick it up. But now they have relocated us to that end, and to a very large extent, they don't want the media to know the kind of manipulation they want to do over there. That is why we are protesting. This is a comfortable place. We have never come. It is not just a matter of changing of table.
That for us as New Patriotic Party, we have our pink sheet. What we went through the other time, we've learned lessons. We will not bring our original pink sheet for anybody to take it and tear them apart. We have our pink sheet. We had a directive from the EC. Submit your report, your results to the return officer. The return officer will look at them. Where there are discrepancy, the EC will have the final decision to make. For us, we have our pink sheet. We've also taken it upon ourselves to scan all of them. So you may attack our pink sheet, but you will not attack the original copies as we were given. That is our statement. We will wait and hear from the return officer. We've been given 1 hour within which to submit our copies. We've given scanned copies to the EC. We also have our original copies. The 62 remaining, we've given them to the EC. Where the EC will want to authenticate, we are ready and we will justify it with the pink sheet they gave us from the polling stations, and we have them. And so we want you to be aware.
How did you come by polling stations, pink sheets all of a sudden?
All of a sudden, we have them. We were given at the polling station. You think we would just not be working? We're giving these pink sheets at the polling stations. And so if you know, all the 281 polling stations will have them. Thank you. That was the last time. That was the last time.
You could not present about 33 of those police stations.
That was the last time. Let him sit and go through. You need to go and look at the Electronic Transaction Act and be advised as such. Thank you very much.
Leadership is totally against what is going on here. Whatever is going on here is completely illegal, and we are not part and parcel of it. After the court ruling, we filed a stay of execution and an appeal and they were properly served. So whatever they are doing is completely illegal. I've been saying it time and again, this Electoral Commission is becoming one of the most lawless institutions we have in Ghana. And they have just exhibited it today. They are not learning from their mistakes. They did similar thing and it was quashed by the Supreme Court. And today, they are here again, doing another one. Tomorrow is pregnant. We are not going to take kindly with what is going on. We are not part of it. We will not respect whatever is coming out from this process because it's an illegal process. Completely illegal. In fact, our attention has been drawn. That's why I rushed down here to address the general public. Let the NDC supporters be aware that, look, they should be rest assured. Leadership is in charge. And we will make sure that the illegality going on here will be reset by the reset process. It's left with 2 days for us to start the reset. After the 2 days, we will reset this process. We are not going to allow it to lie loose. We will pursue it legally and make sure that the wrongs going on here will be corrected at the legal process. We are not going to allow this. We have observed this. I have been informed appropriately by my national chairman, the general secretary, and my boss, Dr. Manibuama, to assure the nation that the NDC is not part of this illegality and will not be part of it and will not recognize anything coming out from it. That is it. That is our position. We served them. They were served.
How did you serve them?
They were served through their legal counsel. They have legal listing, and they were served properly. In fact, the document was given to them, and they received notice of service. They are aware of it. They are aware of this service. They are just being. Our people who are here are not aware of that process. They were not in court. They didn't know that this process has been served. That's why you saw them here. And when I'm here, I've informed them appropriately. They are not aware because they were not in court. Have you seen our candidates here? Have you seen any of our candidates here? Because they were there and they deposed to the affidavit that we filed. And so if one of our party people are not aware and they come, that doesn't authorize that thing that they are doing. It's an illegal activities and we are not going to be part of it. I'm just telling you, that is the position of the NDC being sent by the leadership of the party to come and tell the general public that whatever is going on here, they should be rest assured. We will battle it to casket. I'm telling you, nothing is going to be allowed to us. That is our position. Finito, matter finish. And continue their illegality. I finish.
Central results are in, and let's listen to
Good morning, media. My name is Harrison Kwabena Ejakwa. Good morning. Please, my name is Harrison Kwabena Ejakwa, the Deputy Returning Officer for Okankwe Central Constituency. My purpose today is by the court order given that has compelled the EC to continue the process where we left off during the collation day after the election on the 7th. So, by the court order, this is the final collation. The 31 polling stations that were asked to be added to make it complete, 141 polling centers. After the collation today, Patrick Yabuama got 21,099 votes. Abdullahi Abu Baba Abubakar Sadiq got 90,368 votes. Total valid votes is 40,467. Total rejected ballots, 198. Total votes cast, 40,665. With the authority given, I hereby declare that Patrick Yabuama, per the votes, is validly elected as the MP-elect for Okankwe Central Constituency.
As usual, we have to go and start working in Tama Central and in Parliament.
What message you have for your constituents?
At the long last, I mean, the battle is ended. We are ready to work, and I'm very thankful to them all. Yes. Of course, we have 148 polling stations in the constituency. We did 146, remaining 2. So this puts finality to the exercise. If you are coming to say that, would they be going to court? The court is there for redress, and we are ever ready. But as I keep saying, it's a number game. 1 + 1 is always 2. It is not synergy that you say 1 + 1 will be 3. No, with elections, it is a number game. So once you compute it today, and it is Charles Forson had 18,870, it's never going to change. With what number? You see, you may have won an election, but it comes with a number. Has she ever been able to mention a number? I'm thankful to them, and we are going to work and uplift the constituency. That's the most. We work together. We are all Tama people. Tama, we are brothers, sisters. I mean, Tama, we don't have any divide. It's rather unfortunate that this election turned sour. Declared by who? I mean, we are going to exhibit our experience, expertise, integrity beyond our analytical basin to support Ghana in general and Tama Central in particular. But I mean, you count on me. We are going to do our best for Mother Ghana. You see, if it does happen, I keep saying, it's a number game. Numbers do not change. It is only we businesses that will say synergy. That is when I say, when I put 1 + 1, I get 5, I get 3. But with elections, the numbers will never change. 18,870 for Charles Forson, 18,815. I mean, it will never change. Yes. I'm not aware of anything. I'm not aware of anything. Someone who himself maybe I may say me a verb, me impacting people.
With 440. There are 2 plus.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN rewards, sir. Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. And I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Hey, girl, what's up?
How far with your internship?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
Actually, I'm on a line.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download their app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Me Seth, I'm starting work next month.
Ghana Post. Hey, Nano Fair Wanya, what Casacasa, welcome, we say. And you're my brother, Mr. Happiness, and Hame. Missy, who say Ghana Post, I am fast, reliable, and affordable. Now saying, the Numa and the Janya Kumami D, and the command or if I Ghana Post, we're dinning na. And it's a was a swan Massakodija, Medical Ghana Post you. Wait, Kobe Kakra. Ghana Post,
the most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post, smart, secure deliveries.
Coming package, you know. In less than 5 days, Ghana Post, they make life they big. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Good morning, media. My name is Harrison Kwabena Ejakwa. Good morning. Please, my name is Harrison Kwabena Ejakwa.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. My name is Ania Fompofo and it's the 6th of January 2025. A very warm welcome to another year to the program. We're going to go through that with the help of the Almighty and also with the issues happening in and around the country. We definitely will sit around the table and give you all the discussion needed. Your contributions are also welcome. My name is Ania Fampo. For now, we would have a bit of some, you'll deny you a bit of some headlines because the newspapers are still not on the table, but we still have, headlines that are coming through. So let me just give you some headlines that we're going to be dealing with. We know that the Electoral Commission is still working and giving us the details of what it has decided as far as the recollation exercises are concerned, right? So at least out of some 4 constituencies, 3 have been declared. 1 is on hold. We'll give you the details of that one as well. We also know that the 8th Parliament will be dissolved today. Metro TV will stick with you and come through from Parliament, give you a live feed and coverage of the 8th Parliament dissolving today. And of course, the new Parliament and members of Parliament being sworn in into the 9th Parliament. It will be an interesting scene. Also, among the headlines coming from Parliament is how John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, has nominated the current Speaker, Babing, to sit in as the Speaker of Parliament again in the 9th Parliament. Remember, they have the majority in Parliament now, and so they have the right to decide or vote whichever way. But there are also other opinions that have been raised against the way that was done. Is it something that we have to consider? Well, we'll be looking into that as well. When time permits, we'll also get into the area of fire outbreaks. Now, the issue that had happened at the Kantamanto market blew everybody's minds. It was shocking, wasn't it? And when you listen around, there are pockets of conversations around it. People are saying all that they think, they know, they assume, they suspect. Well, all that will be discussed on the platform. Where we'll have some seasoned expertise who will also join us to tell us exactly what will be happening as far as this market, Kantamanto market to be precise, is concerned. Well, so these and more, we'll dissect it here on the platform on Good Morning Ghana. But for now, let me just welcome you into the year. And this is the very first show we're having for the year. And we pray that we'll have the energy to sit throughout till the end of 2025, where we see successes and growth. When we come back, we'll have former Minister for Foreign Affairs, Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Emmanuel Bombande, join us. We'll also have Adam Bona join us, who's a security analyst, and also the 2 reps from the political parties. We'll have Shamima Muslim join us, and also we'll have Rabi Salifu Hajia, who will also join. So the panel, the face of the panel will change a bit today, and pardon us for that. Then we'll discuss everything before we wrap up the program. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN Rewards, sir. Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Hey, girl, what's up?
far with your internship?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
Actually, I'm on a line.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download their app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
Hey,
Nano pay ukwanya wakasakasa ubwako umuse.
Enya me brother Mr. Happiness na ehame. Me see who say Ghana Post aye fast, reliable and affordable nti. Na nsen na numa ye ni de edwanya kuma me di e de koma no e fa Ghana Post. We di ni nyina. Ene se wasa aswan masa kodidwa me de ko Ghana Post yo. We Kobi kakra, Ajene kakra, Akantie so shase. Ghana Post,
the most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post, smart, secure deliveries.
Mensa coming package, no. In less than 5 days, Ghana Post, they make life they be. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by Cocoa Board, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
A home is never complete without the warmth of family, the assurance of security, and the joy of shared moments. Whether you are returning home from abroad or seeking a new beginning, Rehoboth Havens Ayimensa is where your journey truly begins. Discover the perfect balance of modern living and natural beauty with flexible installment plans available to make your dream home a reality. Our 2 and 3 bedroom houses offer spacious interiors, elegant designs, and all the comfort your family needs. Experience a lifestyle of convenience, progress, and security. Each home is crafted with care, ensuring your family enjoys every moment. Rehoboth Havens is more than just a gated estate. It's a vibrant community. From safe playgrounds to serene surroundings, it's the perfect place for families to thrive. Join a growing community that values safety, comfort, and affordable housing. Your future starts here. Rehoboth Havens, where your housing dream becomes a reality. Visit www.rehobothsocialhousing.com to learn more. Here's Kwame and Yao. After hours of planning, both have locked in the same perfect multi-bet. Big win for United, over 1.5. And both teams to score in the London Derby. But who could have picked Leicester over City? Or a high-scoring game at the Bridge? There's nothing worse than having your perfect multi-bet missing. But there's nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver. Win, even if your bet misses.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just the breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Apomode hunsem yemfen diagro. Enunti nese wonum edepapa nko. Exodus moringa capsules, any Exodus dandelion capsules. Efi Exodus ebusuyanum, na beboa wa pomode. Emu bia wo benya no betimi aboa. Nanso so when you two no, wobetimi andom abom na beboa papa. So wonum Exodus moringa capsules, ni Exodus dandelion capsules. Ebua mamoja di efusani yi. Na afei ebusi wo immune system no na kweti ayarewa ahodo. Minim yi se nipa dodo na nim dia moringa etimi ye. Na dandelion so yenim. Enunti menkasa bedru. Enye ma pemfo. Ana abatan a oma enifo. Ana abofra onya emfidumi. Exodus ehua dance die dos.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver.
as I said in the morning, I said that we were looking for the pink sheets. So the political parties, if they have the hard copy or the soft copy, they should make them available. So that when the two parties have, we will not do the comparisons. Then we will know we'll take the decision. Now, we were left with 62. From the return officer, he will speak. After doing the collaboration with the two parties, they have reduced the 62 to 21 now. So he will need, because the 21, they are not agreeing. It's 20 or 20? 20. They are not agreeing. So he will need time to study them again before he takes final decision. So we will suspend the collation for today to give him time. Then when he's ready, he will call us. Then we'll come and conclude. So,
you see, as we started, I said I don't have the results. It was destroyed during my collation. So they brought sheets, results, and some of the results are in contention. Some of them, you can see mistakes on the sheets that they brought. So I need to confirm.
How are you?
I know my work. I know my work. I know how I'm going to do it. So that one assured me I'm going to do that work.
With this process?
It will not take more than 24 hours. I will do that work and get back to you.
When we came...
Yet a castle will be 15 minutes where I'm saying. Anyway, there is one in my car. Marco Fry and Panuet Matamufin. What I'm an Asiatic. After we got to me, look on the panel fashion, meeting inside the coin. I know I tell you. Meeting inside the coin, now, I tell you. It just you didn't to Obama and the Anati, as soon as you all are the BS. Yes, 15 minutes of the car. You are the they never did not see you. And I'm out for the good, and I'm just one. I'm found more. The fire is Sapa Bontina, I know I'm red, and I are telling her, I know as a man, I'll tell him that to go. Okay. That's how I'm looking for. I'm a trader here, and I'm a mobile money vendor. I trade here, but all my things are rent. I used to preach here as well. So all my speakers, I have a mini container inside my shop. Most of the things, I can't recollect the things that I have lost, but I have lost everything. But I have some money. And it is unfortunate that these things has happened. But I believe the reason why this thing has happened is that because of the wooden structure. The place is too wood. And we have people here that sleep here. Some are vagabonds. It's true. Some are vagabonds. Some are armed robbers. Yesterday I came around and I could see people sleeping here. Like, why is this thing happening? You could see people smoking weed. And so I think that maybe some of the weed, the leftover weed has caused all these things. So we want to urge the government, the current government, to come to our aid, and the president-elect also to come to our aid. They shouldn't politicize this thing. We want to urge them, those at the top, they shouldn't politicize this thing. They shouldn't say they are going to take this place and give it to a private developer, an individual, who will build the thing and rather send it to the rich. Some of us, we are coming up, we are young people coming up, trying to do our best. So they should make it equal. They should do it in such a way that it will get everybody. Because many have lost money. I know somebody who lost.
You're welcome back to the program. So it's a special edition of Good Morning Ghana, and is your first one of the year 2025. We're having it not as regular as we always do. You know, normally Mondays we dedicate it for the ladies, but today we're having a mix of it. That's because of the issues that we have to deal with. We've brought in some more hands, to help us analyze the topics that we have on the table to discuss. So let me just, briefly introduce a guest to you. I'll start, they say women first or ladies first, right? So let me start with our regular ladies that we have in the mornings, Monday mornings. Shamima Muslim is a member of the NDC, and she is also a member of the National Communications team. For the Muslim, you have
Zongo Caucus.
The Zongo Caucus, yes. What's the position
Deputy
for the
Communications Director
for the Zongo Caucus?
Yes.
All right.
Ma'am.
Shamima. Shamima, you're welcome.
Thank you,
Good morning
Annie.
to you and happy New Year.
You're going to congratulate me. You are forgetting that you have not seen me.
The Ghana
Since the victor.
Yeah, I beg.
Okay, let me wait.
Like I always say, God, I
Please,
beg.
bring it on. I'm waiting.
Shamima,
yes, madam. Thank you very much. For what?
For winning the elections.
Just winning?
Yes.
What kind of win was it?
Big gap.
It was a big gap.
A big gap win.
It was a gap.
Yes, please.
Like by how much meters?
Like the gap.
1.7 meters. Anyway, good morning, Annie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Indeed, it's been a very wonderful period, and I think all praises and thanks goes first to Almighty Allah for how far He brought the NDC, and most especially to the good people of Ghana. Obviously, our message resonated, and it resonated because of their own lived realities. The fact of the matter was that there was a lot of hardship and pain in the system. So when you go to them with your message, you didn't have to talk a lot because people really looked at their life and they made a decision to change and to opt for resetting because too many things had gone wrong, a lot of decay in the system. And so we are thankful to the good people of Ghana for giving us this very resounding mandate. And I think that just as we prepare for tomorrow, I'm sure we are going to go on to the main issues. What I would like to do is to say a big thank you to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for leading the team that has delivered this monumental victory to Ghana and for the NDC, as well as to our history-making Professor Jane Nano Poku Ajiman, for once again breaking a major glass ceiling in our country, being the first female vice president-elect tomorrow to be fully cloaked as the first female vice president of the Black Star of Africa, Ghana, the Republic, and our homeland, our homeland, Ghana. And we say congratulations to her. To the entire rank and file of the NDC, we fought a good fight, and God has been favorable to us. Thank you all for all the sacrifices. And I believe after tomorrow, the real work begins. And just as we have come to the people of Ghana, we would ensure that everything we do from tomorrow henceforth would be to the glory of God first, and to totally working conscientiously with humility, with fellow feeling, to reset this country for the better. So thank you, Ghana. Thank you to my mothers, Lordina, Mahama, for the support, and the support to our president-elect, John Dramani Mahama. Thank you all for the love that you have
quite
shown
a lengthy
this country.
intro.
Not a lengthy. I even wanted to say more. I wanted to say more, but
she's gagging me.
I'll leave it.
Anyway, Hajara,
gagging me.
Aja, you're welcome. And she's also yes.
Annie, you are subtly gagging me, and it's not out of place to actually introduce myself that way. Not very happy New Year, and then I honestly would congratulate you. Thank you. I told you even off camera that you worked, you represented women in your party. Among other women, and then we all did our best. We were all, and interestingly, I also occupied the position of Deputy Communications Person for the National Zango Campaign Team. So I'm also the Deputy Communications Director for National Zango Campaign Team, and also Deputy National Communications Director for the party. So we're in Zango. We did the Hajj. She went to dig. I came to respond. We spoke. The people said, okay, NPP, you have done it. But it's not enough to say infrastructure. The roads, yes, we appreciate. The education access you have provided, we appreciate that. Some other things, Agenda 111, all the things that we have showcased, all the tangible infrastructural work we have done for the country, Ghanaians do appreciate. However, they still say, look, in some people's words, we are hungry. It is hard. And then I will humbly accept that largely our posturing was something that we could have done more about.
Right.
We had words like arrogance and all that repeatedly being mentioned to us. And unfortunately, it's not about just one person running a government. Whilst one person is doing it, another person probably would have been given a wrong signal. And that still comes back to all of us. But I do know Ghanaians still love NPP. That I'm very sure about. And I do know very well that in this country we are, the neutrals, the technocrats, the media, all the people that stood out to talk against some of our excesses are still in this country. And I'm very hopeful that they would actually do that. And Annie, I would also add that you see very complex interplay that turned out across the globe. You can see the issue of United States. You have seen that of UK. You have seen that of South Africa with the leading majority now losing almost all their seats. You have seen Japan, Botswana, and all that. So Ghana is not actually, or NPP is not actually isolated in this case. However, I am glad that the rank and file of our party has accepted it right from the point when our flag bearer came out to concede defeat. And then we all are moving in. We have actually sat indoors. We have even held our first NEC meeting. It went on very successful. Reality has come to us and we have accepted it. We'll revise our notes, we'll say it as it is to each other, and then come back very strong. We aren't relenting because the Ghana, as we are all in, is for all of us. And if you were advised to go and rest and come back, it's never a crime and it will never be a crime. So I say a very good morning to Ghanaians. Congratulations to you, sister, once again on your win, and also congratulations to Ghana. And also to the NDC for allowing a woman, Mama Jane, what's her name again?
Professor Jane.
Professor Jane, yeah. I say a very big congratulations to her, and as a very strong gender activist, I would say it's a plus for us. We also did the affirmative action passing of the bill, and then I'm pretty sure the NDC will pick up the implementation very well. They shouldn't limit it to lip service. If we are talking about 30% representation, yes, in Parliament they are doing well against us for now, or versus what we have for now. And I expect that they would be able to maintain that momentum. They would let women representation reflect their appointment. They are going to be very inclusive in listening to women. That is my expectation. We have started hearing some things, and I'm sure when we go to the main issues, I would come to talk about that.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so after the political party reps have actually introduced themselves, let me now also bring some of the other experts that we have with us and specialists who have actually joined the panel today. I'll first introduce Adam Bona, who is a security expert. He's been with us throughout the election period and also post-elections, and he's still with us as we head for the swearing-in ceremony after Parliament has also done its bit by swearing in the members of Parliament elect. Adam Bona, you're welcome, and Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning to you.
Many, many happy returns. Congratulations to the NDC for the victory. I think it was a hard-won victory. And a good morning to the two Hajias we have here. The opposing Hajias, who both of them agree that Professor Jinana represents my daughter. I have one daughter, and every woman, in the entire continent. I mean, I worked closely with her when she happens to be, I think, the first female vice chancellor.
For the university, yes,
for a public university. I don't know about the other private.
So I actually interviewed her, and I actually brought that in, that you seem to be representing women being first
yes.
in in certain positions. Her response was quite interesting. She said every time she has to take a particular position, she doesn't look at herself as a woman. She just looks at herself as somebody who wants to do something in certain areas, and that's all it is. Until people now start blowing,
putting the first and
exactly,
first and first.
the woman. It's really not just about the woman. It's about you have the capacity and you want to make a change.
And you know, she's a very tough woman, very tough. I mean, I worked with her closely when in security, when the UCC had some security challenges many years ago, when she was I think her first term as the Vice Chancellor. I don't know, I haven't met her after. I'm sure she remembers. We used to sit and have advising her what needs to be done and all that. She's one person who would want to follow due process. If the document must go to her or her before coming to her, you can't jump it. It needs to go through the process before it comes to her. And so I know her closely. She's not someone you can bully around, and she's very assertive. So I want to congratulate her this morning, being the first female, second most important person of our country, believing that our two august women here would see her as an inspiration and aspire next time not for, running mates, but for presidency of the big political parties where you stand a chance of being the first female president of our country. And more so, probably congratulate everybody. I think some of us who disagreed with the status quo, with the MPP and the way things were being done, there were threats here and there, but we kept on pushing. And like my sister Rabi said, I'm sure if the NDC gets it wrong, we will, these are things that we'll talk about constructively, believing that something would be done. And I say that we still have our pens, our brains, and our pens are like guns. Our brains are like guns. If you get it wrong, we will tell you in the face without any fear nor favor. And so I would want to say tomorrow's inauguration, if you tell me, it is almost like a redeclaration of independence, because then some of us, even though lived here in this country, became very helpless. If there were issues, you spotted someone committing an alleged crime, because it is only when a court determines that you can say it's a crime. An alleged crime and you report it, the president would usually have sometimes his apologists who would quickly organize a program and give him the microphone. And then he would say, oh no, nothing has been done. And I give you an example of Akunta Mines, where a whole institution, government institution, mandate clothed with power to do what they are doing, saying that they found him in the Nimre forest.
Nimre forest.
Yes, and the president said he hadn't done anything. When the evidence was on the face of the sheets, the president still disagreed. You know the infamous Cecilia Dapan saga. Some of us even petitioned Parliament. The apologists had the audacity to, in fact, run to go and place a certain injunction. I think they think it's still with Iyoko. I said that was the name. Shraj. And so there are so many things that, if you ask me, didn't go well in this country, not at all. And so I would want that as we move on as a nation, this country would have to be rebuilt, because then the destruction, if you ask me, and you can see I'm holding document. All these ones are military lands that have been sold from all over the country, military lands, and some of them signed as late as November 2024.
Last year.
Yeah, last year, November, just less than a month to elections. And I say, how did we get here where if we had some government lands, our inheritance in my hometown is being sold. And so my children's children, no inheritance for them.
Maybe you can tell us more. I'm not really sure the laws that govern the protection of military lands.
You see,
and in the case where you have the president as the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, I don't know the legal entitlement equipped by the president to allow
no, mine
for sale.
is that even if there were no laws, I mean, which law governs inheritance? Let's say we are in a family. Maybe a parent dies intestate. It means that the things are there. You can go to probably go procure an LA, to be able to appropriate some of these things. And one person's decide that I'm going to sell everything, forgetting that these properties that were acquired on behalf of the current generation and generations to come. And then one person today sells everything. Then there are issues. For me, I just think that we have to move away from the conversation of law, because then we cannot have a perfect law in any country, a perfect constitution. It must take human beings that must, probably deal with the law to say that even though the law probably sanctions that or is mute on something being done, let's not do it morally.
At some point, moral and conscience must come to play.
Morally, if we do this, what happens to the 10 generations to come? They will come and probably, in fact, the sea belt would have sold it.
Okay.
You get it.
Okay,
So for me,
we'll get
those
into that.
were some of
Quickly,
the things.
let me put this
by
across.
Introduction,
Yes, before I introduce the fourth guest, let me just remind you that the MTN Momo from MTN is Love is still on, and when you loved one send money from abroad onto your Momo wallet, you receive 300 megabytes for free. So it is free. All right. Now you heard me. So each time you receive money from abroad via Momo, you automatically get 300 megabytes of data to go online and show your friends and family how you're celebrating your festivities and the holidays. So let's make memories this season. Encourage your loved ones to send their monies and remittances directly to your Momo. My love, more data. Just Momo it this Christmas and beyond. So you probably may have not seen him on screen for quite a long time. He's been in government before. He's been served outside the jurisdiction of Ghana before. And so he's been, around Africa, I would say, and maybe its environs. And in this person, I'm talking about Emmanuel Bombande, who is a governance analyst and a former deputy minister for foreign affairs. And we're grateful. He has actually worked with Dr. Ibn Chambers, right? I think you deputized him in special peacekeeping affairs.
Yeah, when he was head of the UN for West Africa,
yes,
and the special representative of the Secretary General, I worked with him in Dakar. Yeah.
We're very grateful to have you join us this morning as well. A special good morning and welcome to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your generous introduction. Until the end of December, I was with the DPPA, which is the Department for Political and Peace-Building Affairs of the UN, in a specialized unit called the Mediation Support Unit. So we're deployed to support mediation efforts in peace-building across the world. And to that extent, you are right, I was not in the front line.
Yes.
But from January, I'm back home, and I want to start by congratulating women. And I want it to be inclusive, beginning with the two ladies in this room. I have two daughters and a son. And last night, though we've been celebrating during the holidays, we went out for dinner. And I told them the victory of the NDC is the victory of all women. And in my career, I have been a champion of women leadership. I have seen where, when women are leaders, the difference is significant in how we search for peace, how we sustain it, and how we ensure that agreements that are arrived to are implemented. And so the victory of the NDC...
Even in a peacekeeping activity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So they're just trying to pollute our mind by telling us that women are their own enemies.
As a matter of fact, Women
I abhor that statement.
Women are the ones who are the magnet of social cohesion.
Okay.
Because the men often, for example, my experience in the Central African Republic, the young men are out in the jungles fighting. Yeah. Life continues because it's the women who stay to hold families together.
Right.
But the tragedy is when we are now getting to the level of engaging in representation to search for peace, you begin to see less and less of the women, which is an injustice to women. So that's why we are all proud of Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman for her leadership. And tomorrow she's going to be the first female vice president of Ghana. And as it has been articulated, not because she's a woman, but because she is a leader in all sets. Secondly, you know, when I was Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, my boss was a woman. Brilliant Hannah Tete, who also, after we handed over, she first worked in Nairobi for the UN, then became the United Nations representative to the African Union, and then went on to become the special envoy for the Horn of Africa. And in my recent chats with her, and in all segments, the last time I saw her, we were together in Switzerland, and people want to sit and listen to her. And so to that extent, I'm very, very proud. In my introduction, I want to say that the NDC victory cannot be seen just because it happened. It was the architecture of a brilliant performance of teamwork anchored in effective communication. And she here, sitting to my left, Samima, was part of that team, together with Sami Jemfi, and later on when we come to the effectiveness of communication, even in governance, I would like to come back to that. My remarks to conclude my introduction would be that I've spent the last a few weeks before the elections and the last 2 weeks since the elections to try to appreciate and look at Ghana from outside Ghana. So what I've been doing is monitoring Ghana from the television stations of our sub-region.
Okay.
Television Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Senegal, Guinea. And for me, the summary is this. A university lecturer in Cote d'Ivoire, he made this statement. I would actually translate it, but his statement was, in relation to our elections, he says, c'est une confirmation de la consolidation de la démocratie ghanéenne. It is the consolidation, is the confirmation of Ghana's democratic consolidation.
Oh, yeah.
So there is an incredible level of appreciation from the outside. But we Ghanaians, the more I listen to that, I was stirred internally to introspect and to say that, wait a minute, whether we like it or not, we must have the courage to say that not all is well. And we have to talk about that. In 2020, 8 lives were lost related to our elections. In 2024, is it 5?
4.
4.
Yeah, 4.
It cannot be the case that anytime we have an election, people die. But we have a system that is immune to the extent that once the burial is over, life moves on. And this is not good for our credibility. And so I'm hearing all the accolades from outside, but I'm saying that as a Ghanaian, reflecting internally, it is not good.
Okay, so we're going to get into that shortly, but just before that, let's just, I think around the table, all of us appreciate Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, and that is because if she hadn't even agreed to do it, wouldn't have been here talking about it.
But Annie, let me be first to add that she should further make us proud and vindicated. You see, it's one thing being included.
Yeah.
Inclusion is what we have always sung home, but the reality is when you are given the opportunity. Are you going to really get women raising up the flag to say, yes, she did it for us? Or
when she was
we are going to be disappointed?
Yes, she, and this is a story she also told me in that interview. She said, normally there are people who say they are not so much business inclined. But in the university, this is where people do the practicals and everything. It's not all about just theory. So she taught them even how to do business. So today when you go there, they produce water. The university actually produce water, and it's for the market. So when that day I went to have the interview, she even gave me, I think, a pack or something like that. There's an establishment where you are able to create or let people know that there's a possibility to get something done. And she left that mark. And I'm just hoping that in this higher office, she'll leave a bigger mark. She made a statement that when you enter, when the door is open for you and you enter, don't close it. You need to leave it open. And that statement, I always repeat it, so that it becomes a reminder for her that once you've gotten this door opened, keep it opened for the rest of us to walk through.
In equally practical terms, you see, my sister is here. We are involved in day-to-day political or partisan activities. This is my hope, that she wouldn't be sidelined. I'm not saying that that is what will happen, but I just hope she wouldn't be seen as that woman. She would be included realistically. And even if you look at by virtue of even our constitution,
right,
of what is expected of a vice president of the republic, we have seen the struggles. If for nothing, I have read the 4th John, and I can appreciate or boldly say the struggles His Excellency, Mr. President John Mahama went through as a vice president. Also for His Excellency, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, I heard some, I saw some, and I read some as well. So I hope she, being a woman, although not empowered strongly
by the
Constitution, would be given this kind of support we are seeing this morning. That yes, not just ceremonial, but of course, you are a woman, and we should see a true reflection of women representation. Even in Parliament, the women will tell you, sometimes, yes, some of us get a little too much, I admit, but I think we should just be supported realistically. Thank you.
Emma, you wanted to say something?
I think that, knowing her, I don't know about today, but she's not somebody who is, you can sideline. I have to be very, my interaction with her. She doesn't look
so
like...
on a lighter note, someone said, before Honorable Okuja Tabakwa started working with her, he was good. After working with her, he became better.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I am only
saying people have actually reviewed his character now and think that he has refined after working under her.
Okay. But in this case, it's the reverse. She's going to work under somebody. And not leading.
Yes, but she's a strong...
No, this is one thing, this is my opinion about her, working with her.
We must approach this with more positivity.
I'm positive.
She's somebody...
I am honestly positive. I'm just raising my reservation.
I did some work for the University of Cape Coast when she was first elected or appointed as the Vice Chancellor. And back then, there were a lot of acrimony, a lot of, crimes, a lot of stuff going on. But when she was eventually put there, she stabilized everything, ensured that things worked. And, even if you go to our universities, like you have Madam Mama also, who is at University of Ghana now.
Yes.
You can see how she's been able to deal with the vandals. I'm sure the Commonwealth Hall.
She's tamed them.
So mine is that if a woman,
the vandals will not be happy with you this morning.
Don't worry about that. So what I'm trying to say is that I think, for me, I'll be surprised if I hear that, Her Excellency,
she's been underutilized.
She is being undermined, because she will speak up. She will confront it.
Okay.
That is one thing about her. She's not one of those people you would undermine and she will say,
Good
no. I have worked with her. Say it again.
You can also do that. Not that she's not a frontline. She's not a frontline politician.
Saying that
she's not a frontline politician, so she's not so.
When she is now.
When His Excellency John Mama had his first term as a president, working with the late Mr. Atta, did we hear that Mr. Atta was? And I don't want to. I want to believe that you have to also look at the persona of the leader vis-a-vis the person deputizing the leader.
That's what I wanted to come to. That's what I wanted to come to.
We need to be careful not to indict the incoming president.
So I'm saying that I want to this is a man that has worked with this woman.
Yes.
In various capacities. Yeah. Including being an education minister.
Correct.
And he knew what she brought to the table. A cabinet minister for that matter. And he knew what she brought to the table, and thought that this woman is good enough for even as a presidential material.
Yes.
So having appointed her or chosen her, I don't for a moment or a second think that there's going to be a thing. You said that it's not everything that should be gathered by laws.
No.
So forget the constitution.
Yeah, put the constitution
morality
aside.
and everything involved.
Because when I say put the constitution aside, it's not negative.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is that we need to be very careful, else we are going to begin to indict the president. The president, and I want to believe that.
For me, what we should do is very simple. Look at the early signs by appreciating the level of integrity and inclusion in the campaign.
For instance, I know that under the outgoing president, the vice president today was undermined, and he was undermined. He was undermined greatly. There were times that almost fist cuffs.
Even President Mahama suffered
same. And so mine is that the signs were there. Some of us spoke about it, where the then finance minister became a shadow president. The president would ask him to do things, he won't do them. And so maybe I think the outgoing vice president probably either didn't have the support or couldn't speak up. But I'm expecting, knowing the incoming vice president and knowing the president-elect today, who is going to be sworn in tomorrow, I want to believe that, the incoming president has kept everything to his chest. He's not even speaking about who is going to be this, who is going to be that. And so let's give them the best of chance to get us out of this predicament and ensure that, like I said, I have a daughter and I have two kids. One of them, the younger one, is a daughter. So Madam Jane Nana would represent my daughter, and my daughter speaks fondly of her, very proud of her. She's in the university.
As with many,
you understand? Yes. Just like any of you here. And so we want to have a generation where our women would guide us out of, sometimes the men do our own things, but we don't expect
6 or 7 years old, we've had male leadership. We are where we are.
I think she'll do well. If you ask me, she will help the president, the incoming president,
no doubt,
to fix this country probably the way we want it. We have to be.
We'd rather be optimistic at this point than pessimistic, especially where we are now. The country is in a very depressed state. We need a huge dose of optimism to, move this nation along for us to build. Two things. In any conversation that hails Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman's, very historic rise to the second highest office of the land, we can't leave out the visionary, behind that masterstroke. And so I'll start this first story with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, even as we all prepare for their inauguration tomorrow. Because sometimes it takes courage of leaders and commitment of leaders to move the pendulum, in a way that is truly transformative. And that was what happened when he first nominated, Professor Nana Jane Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman 4 years ago. during the 2020 elections. It was definitely a decision that was not accepted by everybody, even within the NDC, as we all know it. But he went with it because he knew that it was time for Ghana to truly amplify women by deed, not by word. If you contrast that to the positioning of President Akufo-Addo when he was at a Canada conference, when he was asked frontally about the low representation of women in his government, and his reply was that Ghanaian women hadn't shown enough dynamism, when he was well aware of the huge barriers to entry and to sustenance and to participation on the side of women. And that sometimes to elevate women, it's two pathways, I always say, is either women are elected into positions or they are appointed into positions, especially in public life. These are the two main pathways, okay? And there are some decisions that it first has to be a nomination, like it was the case of Professor Nana Jane. And for that, decision to be brought to effect, we had to vote to be able to materialize, that decision. And I know a lot of women groups came out with so many statements urging the two main political parties, because it wasn't because we hadn't seen females, participate in election and even contest for presidency. We had already broken that glass ceiling in terms of a few of the smaller parties presenting women. But the two main political parties, NDC and NPP, if any of them chose a woman, the possibility of having a female vice president shot up by 50%.
Correct.
Yeah. So it was a germane call. You were here when, after John repeated Professor Nana Jane, after several advocacies, after several calls, and because he himself was convinced that the woman was going to bring substantial value to the ticket, he went with her again for this year's election. And then we heard anglings from the camp of the New Patriotic Party, some of their own women who were also demanding consideration. We heard names, but they were parried, they were not considered. And I made a post urging my colleagues in the New Patriotic Party to actually vote as a matter of protest for the John Jane ticket. Because the decision of their party to not bring life to this decision, they couldn't have said that no woman in the NPP did not qualify or had no similar qualifications like Napo to have been actively exactly. So you see, and there's Oslo Owusu is on record.
Slow down.
Oslo Owusu is on record.
She was saying we shouldn't digress.
I'm not digressing. To have said that it seems the NPP does not respect women. You've heard that video before. And so many of them were very unhappy with the non-consideration of the female candidates who also, shared interest. They actually expressed interest to participate and to be considered. That didn't happen. And it became, they took this, a lot of them started attacking me for suggesting that the females in NPP, should actually consider as a matter of protest to vote for the ticket. Because sometimes we must reduce our partisan or individual interest for a bigger collective good. But I'm happy that John Dramani Mahama has bequeathed this nation this historic amplification of the women of Ghana. I have no doubt, as he said during the adoring of Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, that Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman would have her brief. And that brief is actually one of the most important sectors, our social sector, education, health, gender. This is like it's the cauldron from which we all revolve. So we have no doubt that this woman is going to work, and everybody who has experienced her. You see, in 2012, during the vice presidential debate, the presidential and vice presidential debate, that's how I came to meet Professor Nana Jane the first time. It was her, me, and Kojo Opong who apparently we had the highest votes to moderate the 2012 IEA presidential, and So we met at IEA for the first time to review the questions during the first. I didn't know who she was other than a Professor Nana Jane. It was after, you know, that engagement that I read up on her and found out that, in fact, she had broken the glass ceiling as the first female vice chancellor of a public university, and she even had a media experience as one of the first journalists to in fact, the first female journalist to interview Jerry John Rawlings, I think in the period of 1992 thereabout. So she did have a very rich experience. So in 2020, when she was nominated, I had just had a baby, I couldn't participate, but I gave a public endorsement because I said that there are some decisions, when they happen within your lifetime, you can't afford to be neutral or sit it out, honestly. Unless whatever you were calling for, and that has been one of my challenges with, you know, some of the women rights activists and groups. You call for something, a decision must make a meaning, and there ought to be consequences or rewards for anybody who accedes your request, especially if it's something that you have been fighting for. It is not about neutrality. It is about putting your hand where your mouth is. So I'd also expected, other than the individual support that Professor Nana Jane received, that some of our women rights organizations would have spoken out in favor of that decision because you asked for it. And that party was the only party that, you know, gave it. So even not to say that votes for John, but to say that the NDC must be singled out for mention for this phenomenal decision that it had taken. That didn't happen, but individuals lent their support. And today we are where we are. And I am happy, and I am glad. And I wish Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman all the best. And I want to also thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for giving Ghana this historic decision, a decision he knows he's not going to regret. And we'll all live and pray and bear them up with, you know, prayer and support that they deliver the mandate. That's the most important thing, to deliver the mandate to the good people of Ghana, the social contract, the license with which we have been giving this resounding mandate must be used for the good of all, not a few. And yes, we must learn very, very, you know, bitter lessons from the experience of our opponents in the New Patriotic Party. Hajia conceded to some of their ills and failings, and indeed, beyond just the infrastructure that she referenced, which we know could have been more, given the amount of money that this government has received and where we are today. I think that what Hajia is trying to tell us, and what we heard from outgoing President Nana Akufo-Addo during his State of Nation address, are poles apart. Because in that State of Nation address, there was nothing in that address that was sober, that was reflective, that was, you know, what do you call it? The tone of that State of address didn't seem like anyone had learned their lesson or had even accepted the mistakes that brought them this colossal loss, in actually telling us that they have left a Ghana that is working. I think it's a slap, you know, in our collective intelligence.
We'll go into that
and telling us to ignore propagandists.
But let me add this. Let me add this to it. When we talk about women, we had our own Hannah Tete, who was also appointed, I think in 2018, to the office of the UN, I think in Nairobi.
Yes.
Before she became the special envoy to the Horn of Africa.
Yes.
Yes.
And the stop before the special envoy was representative to the African Union.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
The Foreign Affairs Minister.
Yes.
Yes.
Shelley Ayokobo joined us about to the Commonwealth Secretary General.
Yeah. So congratulations to the women.
Yes.
Just
and
finally,
of course,
you
Mama
move on,
Frema being
finally.
the first chief of staff, female chief of staff, it's also remarkable.
And she wanted to also have been considered as a running mate, unfortunately.
She even did a song.
please.
Please don't say she did. People did a song for her. And
Annie.
be nice.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Right. I just want
you
to
have been
wrap up
against
also
speculations. So.
to say that.
Oh, you're sure about that?
This is the.
They were just speculating. No. Those songs were framed up.
No.
Okay, I leave it. I drop it.
And let me just wrap up with this. I think that this is the best time for any woman anywhere in Ghana who is interested in politics to join the NDC. And when we say that affirmative action yields positive results, you just need to look at what we have done over the past couple of years, the past 8 years. His Excellency started affirmative action whilst in opposition. What did he do? His spokesperson and aide was female, Joyce Bauer. When he set up his campaign team, Joyce Bauer was the spokesperson for the president. We haven't had that. And a deputy spokesperson of the campaign was Beatrice. In fact, because of an intentional support to our female parliamentary candidates, NDC in the history of the Fourth Republic has the highest number of women who would be part of the 9th Parliament. As we count, it was 32, minus now the Tema Central, until the matter is effectively resolved. So we have 31 women. In the 8th Parliament, it was 20 women for NDC, 20 for NPP. So there was 40. As we speak, NPP has come down to about 10, a paltry 10 women in Parliament. If you compare the NDC and what we have gained and done for the women of Ghana and compare to the NPP, I think that you cannot put us all in the same pedestal in terms of those who have shown commitment, real commitment, not the passage of legislation, real commitment to the true amplification of women. It is beautiful. The NDC today as a party has the highest number of female communicators.
But Shamima, do you know what this
Vibrant female communicators. It was not given. It was engineered. They were invested in because the leader truly believed in the competence of the woman to help deliver the mandate. And God will be on his side and he will truly deliver with all the women that he will be working
Mr. Bombande,
with.
I'll have you give us a review from the outside, what you saw, what we've done so far. But to Shamima, women don't just represent beauty. Women don't just represent intelligence. They must show, because in this case, or in your case, a woman is occupying the high or second to the highest office, right?
Yes.
So it means that we are expecting a reflection of that beauty in the governance system, in the economy, in every aspect of life, because she's going to be able to transcend through the social fabric,
make a justification,
the economy, the overall. Even as she's having a male president, she's still going to have some influence. You know, women, we have our way around. You know, sometimes we have our way around. She's still going to have a influence on the president, which will reflect on the country. So it tells you that it's a bigger work that you have to do, because women are always fighting and we want to do this, we can't do it, we want to just give it to us. It means we have to show the men that, yes, when we touch, we actually bring a difference to the table.
And can I have my final bite on the women?
So you're asking me, the question here is...
No, I'm just telling you that the question is that it's going to be challenging.
Yes.
And expectations are high.
Expectations are high. And I've said, you know, colleagues...
And that's besides the votes you got.
As we are moving into this next chapter, you see, aside from the new patriotic party as an entity, that we shouldn't, you know, accept undue criticism from. Every other Ghanaian is a partner in recovering this country, because every other Ghanaian has been touched negatively by this nation. So the CSOs, the media, the you know, academia, and the NDC, we are on the same side. We are not adversaries. We ought not to be adversaries. We must be on the same side as we try to recover this nation, because we are truly in unprecedented times. And so we will work together with everybody to truly understand the real state of the nation, work with all key stakeholders to agree on the path, given the vision that we have to reset, to agree on the strategies to deploy, because obviously there will be hard times, as have been, and we must crawl before we walk, before we fly, because of what NPP has done to this nation.
Okay.
So let's not be in a hurry to become adversaries. I know Mr. Bombande and Adam Bona is saying that, of course, we should expect constructive feedback and participation, because we are all stakeholders. So you don't sit and fold yourself and turn yourself only into, a critique. Constructive participation in the economy to reset it, constructive feedback into the economy to reset it.
Right.
For now, MPP needs to take a little bit of a back seat, because they are coming into judgment in the next, couple of months and into the first year of administration.
Okay. All right. Ms. Bombani, so I'll start with you. So you give us an overview of what you saw. We saw the president actually deliver his final sona last time in Parliament, last Friday in Parliament. Some of the things he said, I think the overall will be that he's leaving behind a very buoyant economy for the new government that's taking over. And he seemed to disagree with a lot of comments and criticisms and issues that were made, and which sort of, I think, culminated into the votes that we saw in the last elections. Your overview, we are getting into the swearing. We'll get there, but from what you saw, because you were outside, it was just December that you came home.
Well,
but you saw everything, yes. And you spoke that French to us, so you can tell us more.
I've been coming in and going out.
Yes.
To be frank with you, I'll spend less time on the SONA.
Sure.
Because the SONA came across to me as a president who was disconnected with the reality of the very people he was leading.
Okay.
Which then becomes a summary of his 2 terms in office. And there is no way to... I've said this diplomatically. I could say it in other words. But for me, what was striking was the brazen approach in a lot of the issues that the president presented that appeared, in my view, to suggest that he knew that what he was saying were misleading, and yet he said it with a smile.
An example?
An example. This comes very close to me when you asked me to give an example. When he said he regrets that his government could not resolve the crisis in Boku. That was totally misleading. Because I am aware, and by the way, since it's open discussion, if you want, I can give you the insights, and I will try to be brief. Somebody I respect in the NPP is Kandapa. He was the Minister for Internal Security. And you know his profile in the government of the NPP.
Right. In
the first quarter of 2024, I was in Ghana. Normally he convened 1 or 2 meetings a year for expertise inputs in the issues of governance and security, particularly with terrorism spreading and etc. I was in that meeting, and there were quite a number of people I could mention, but since the discussion is said that I have not sought their permission, I won't mention the names here. The Honorable Minister suggested at the end of that meeting that he was under pressure, because this was a time that the government, through its own policy decisions, had created a situation that instrumentalized an individual to become what you would describe as a chief who was ensconced in a complete different jurisdiction by the Nigeri. And because of, and I'm not the one saying it, government itself recognizing that it was illegal, he became a fugitive for almost a year. And the Honorable Minister was saying that I'm under pressure to send him back to Boku and maybe to see how he could become part of the traditional council in Kusau to be able to be a contribution of the government. And I was at pains to explain to him that how could somebody outside the jurisdiction of the Kusao Traditional Council and skill somebody in a different traditional council, and you take him to this Kusao Traditional Council and expect that he can be welcomed there to be a chief. What should happen is, just like the other groups in Boku who are what you might call the ethnic minorities do, you choose somebody and you go to the overlord for the blessing of the overlord to be enskined to be your chief. So even here in Greater Accra, you would have the Dagomba chief, you have Bisa chief, you have all the different chiefs, but you don't come and impose it. It has to go through the traditional.
They have to be recognized by.
Thank you very much. And because in the case of this personality called Seydou Abagri, he was not a suggestion of the Naba Abubrago Azoka II. He was not enskined through the Kusao Traditional Council. It will create a backlash. It will radicalize young people. Then I thought this was forgotten. And I went about my life thinking at least one piece of the puzzle has worked. Only now for us to be getting to the campaigns. And I'll try to finish here. The vice presidential candidate of the NPP is in the Nairi. He's speaking before the cameras with the Nairi. He says Ashantis would vote for the... no, that is not the way he put it. He said, we Ashantis will bring Baumia to office, to power. And when he comes, we'll take the chieftaincy and give it back to where it belonged. Which was now relating this fugitive chief in Nalerugu to the conflict in Boku. And so the government actually exacerbated, increased, and made a volatility that radicalized young people. So how could he have suggested in his State of the Nation address that he made efforts and he regrets that the conflict was not resolved?
So he should have rather said, I regret the decision I made by making the gentleman...
he should have acknowledged that we goofed.
It was a mistake.
We did things that were wrong, and I'm appealing to all for healing and reconciliation, and I wish the next government to support anybody who can bring about that healing and peace in Boku. That's what he should have said.
So what that decision did, apart from the rift between the Kusaus and the other group,
the Mamprosis,
this actually worsened the situation.
Absolutely. And it is important to make the qualification that when you mention the names of the groups as we have done, people assume that there is this enmity between Mamprosis and Kusas. That's not the case. The point I'm making here is, and that for me is the saddest part of it, to instrumentalize Mamprosis into the politics of Boku for votes. And you know the backlash? More than 10 polling stations in the Boku Central area, Baumia was scoring 0, 0, 0. People do not understand why that happened. You cannot do that because of the sensitivity involved, because more than 30 people were killed, because above anything, and somebody like myself in my experience and career, I am very concerned about the humanitarian dimension, human life. So that was a terrible mistake, and it should never have happened. And when the Honorable Minister said, I'm under pressure, I knew where the pressure was coming from. But I do not want to talk about it openly. So the point I'm saying here, and I'm trying not to be emotional, is that don't use politics in chieftaincy. Because the 1992 Constitution makes it very clear. The executive arm of government, not even Parliament, can make any law that interferes with chieftaincy. Allow the people to find their own pathway of how they coexist. And coexisting and social cohesion was totally destroyed to the extent that we have had a separation, the markets have separated, people are seeing each other in very different ways. So that for me is an example. And I could have said it in other ways, but that was totally misleading, it was falsehood, and it was deliberately said in Parliament as if nothing had happened. For me, a lot had happened. More than 30 killed. That's, for many of us, we call it home. Don't destroy my home because you want political votes.
There was one of the videos that was so gruesome, and pardon me, people of Boku, during the holidays, some of them were sending me Momo, you won't believe it. They were sending me money for holidays. But one of the videos we saw, we couldn't put it on TV.
Yeah, you cannot.
Yes, there was a bus driver who was carrying, I think, students.
Yeah.
And they got to a point where they just brought the students down and actually burnt the bus driver alive.
Yeah. And that is why the conversation we are having is a very important conversation, because under President John Mahama, we are transitioning into a new culture of governance built on the leadership that can be trusted because it has integrity. You see, when a leader stands before the nation in front of parliament and articulates, it must carry along how many million are we now? 32 million Ghanaians. And you cannot do that lightly. And so, even the conversation that started with the introductions and our celebration of Professor Nana Opoku Ajiman is speaking to a new dawn in which the transformation that must take place must recognize that we have come out of very difficult periods, but as the president himself, and here I'm talking about President John Mahama, and he has made all these statements, in my view, knowing very well where he's going into. And he did not leave anybody out. And he deliberately asked political parties to work together for the resetting agenda, so that nobody feels that I would exclude you in the resetting agenda. And we are going to do this for our own sake, not for anybody's sake, for our stability, for our peace, because we are at a very bad place globally in the world, and worse still in West Africa when it comes to peace and security. The worst thing that can happen is for Ghanaians to be divided over sectarianism, ethnicity, the politics of divide. That goes deep to really hurt people and to, if you call it, extract the worst of our humanity. And I think that when we look at that new culture of leadership, whereby your brilliance as an individual can only be recognized when it is seen in the collective. That means teamwork, team building, doing things in such a way that it's not because of you or it's not for your sake, but it is because of the 32 million Ghanaians that you are leading. And I can say it around this table because the very day I was sworn in by the president as deputy minister, it is as if when I woke up in the morning, a certain huge responsibility were on my shoulders. And I always asked myself, how would you end that day? By doing things responsibly, respecting. And the president himself told me, I want you to receive everybody. Don't receive anybody because the person is NDC or the person is NPP. I want you to receive every Ghanaian and give, in my representation, the services that are required. That is the type of Ghana we must start resetting and we must build in. Beginning with our human resource, with who we are collectively, and recognizing and looking at each other in our faces.
Right. Let me have you come in here.
Thank you very much. You see, Annie, I want to say sorry to my uncle here for that sad happenings. We all are still affected. I won't talk about it as though it's in the past. And then also, I want to humbly apologize to our people for whatever would have gone wrong. That is not to validate all that Uncle said, because of course, I agree with you that you are speaking the truth, but decisions are such that the way you see it is probably not how the other person would have seen it. I am not saying I'm justifying or defending whatever decision was taken entirely, because there are generally issues that affect people's emotions. Lives are lost. Women have lost their livelihoods. Youth have gone so bad through what has happened. People have started even doing things ordinarily they wouldn't have been doing. So it's very sad. I am a Northerner myself, and I know that whatever touches the head touches the neck, of course. Also, I want to say that, yes, with the lamentation I'll put that the president said, I want to still say yes. It is sad that he couldn't do what he intended to do or address it to the maximum satisfaction of all. However, looking at his approach to the Dagbon issue, looking at what he did from day one with Honorable Salifu Said when he was the regional minister then, consulting the Ashanti Kingdom and the House of Chiefs and all other stakeholders in the country. I would say, yes, that was a very good approach given there. The stages was quite intensive. People from both gates were brought together and all resolutory steps and approach was done well. Maybe not everything was done very well, but we can say, yes, the president should also, or at this point, would sit and say, okay, granted, I had it wrong in Boku or somewhere else, at least I was able to approach this one. That it's my expectation or my hope that the NDC, as my uncle here is talking about, would do better in terms of resolving the issue. He has made statements on how, or the giant steps they have taken even in the past, and how best they can approach it. So I wish the people of Boku well. I would say I'm also from Boku because I'm from northern Ghana, and I would say that we don't ever pray to have continuity of what is happening today. Yeah. Yes.
He's a commander-in-chief of Ghana Armed Forces. And he said he, regrets that the government could not resolve the conflict in Boku. But in the face of the knowledge you have on the decision you took in Boku, should tell you, if I'm a resident in Boku and I hear you saying what you're saying, my votes of 0 will not be enough. I will be just angry. Is this man human? Does he understand the decision he's taken and how it has cost us? Do you get the picture? It's like a Boku resident watching and he doesn't admit.
Given the nature of sensitivity of this issue, coming back after everything that has been said and done to try to defend, to try to explain, would even worsen the situation. This is about human beings that have lost lives. Mm-hmm. This is about us, I'm getting quite emotional like him, who are actually not happy as a country. Nobody can boastfully say, even president, former president, very soon, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo is happy about this. I will boldly tell you he isn't happy. Nobody is happy about this in this country. So in response to what you have just said, I want to decline on even further commenting on it and simply say that we are very sorry for whatever harm that would have been caused to women, children, the youth, the aged, everyone in Boku. What happened is sad. We pray that the NDC, as competent as it is posing, would come and do better than what we did. The attempt in Dagbon was good. I would have been super grateful and happy if we were able to replicate same smoothly in Boku as well.
Mr. Bona.
Well, I would want to start my commentary on the solar. Rabbi is apologizing. Well, I think it's good. But the president should have been the one apologizing. He rather came to say,
well, I'm actually apologizing for the lives lost, for the mares caused, and not apologizing for the president's statement. And I did mention that whatever Uncle said, I'm not entirely agreeing with what he said because I haven't verified his information. I'm hearing most of the things he just said for the first time. Why I am assuming this posture is for the nature of the case. This is a conflict. People are watching us. People involved in this situation are watching and they know the true reflection. I don't have full information on what he said, so I won't argue on that.
Mr. Bona, I'm so sorry. So I'm told that they have to do something about your microphone. So let me just move to Shamima, and then I'll come back to you. Shamima, on the SONA.
Well,
you actually started
yes, So it was the last State of the Nation address that the outgoing President Akufo-Addo was to give to the people of Ghana. And as I sat there, my reference point was President John Dramani Mahama's last State of the Nation address. That was my reference point. I was like, okay, let's see. And it was not impressive. Because if you listen to President John Mahama's last State of the Nation address, his posture, his demeanor, the choice of words, his concessions, you know, his feelings about the nation, what he wanted to do, what he hopes he has done, and his most poignant statement that he knows he did his best for this country and posterity will be the better judge for his mandate. And then you juxtapose that to a president who has just gone through the most humiliating defeat ever in the history of our nation, who has no mention at all about that outcome and the reasons why that outcome happened. There was nowhere in his statement that President Akufo-Addo, you know, recognized the voice of the people of Ghana, the voice which they expressed at the polls, the voice which some of them were able to express even before the elections, that they weren't heard. And when all else failed, they went to the polls and they showed the NPP and President Akufo-Addo the power of the thumb. Even with that resounding loss, there was no recognition of the pain, the hardship, the difficulties, the loss of incomes, of jobs, of livelihoods, of families, of lives. No concession in the speech other than the justification of his tenure, the justification of his actions and inactions. So for me, it was a very sad State of the Nation address, riddled with a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and sometimes plain untruths. Because for the president to be able to watch, you know, on national TV, and even some international, you know, media houses reported on it, and to tell us that you have left a country that is working, a country which economy is on its knees, a country which you have been unable to pay your debts. In fact, I have heard, I've been part in some meetings, the sports ministry is riddled with debts in the tune of over 400 million cedis. Payments that are expected from the finance ministry, sports ministry alone, 400 million cedis. School feeding program. Caterers were picketing at the finance ministry, NPP women organizer caterers, pleading that if they don't pay them, no, they were NPP, they themselves, the media reported them, because that is how it was done. It was given to them. I'm saying that so many things have happened. Look, their money sitting at World Bank or Bank of Ghana waiting for projects to be implemented. But the various ministries are expected to put in place certain measures that will ensure strict accountability. They've not been able to draw down on some of these monies because of the nature of the things they have done at those ministries. Don't worry, from 7th January, all these things that we are indicating, you see the tone of the NDC transition. Mr. Bambande, in the last transition, people were treated like criminals, even to appear before the transition team. We have treated every ministry, every minister with the utmost civility as we seek to understand what their reports have said.
But there are some of your men.
Let me remind Ghanaians.
There are some of your men who have visited offices.
No. And what has the party's position been?
Generalization.
Please, what has the party's position been? There were statements that have been issued. In fact, President John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, who is not the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, in the height of the, violent attacks, had cause to address the nation. This is the human being we are talking about. This is what we have been denied and deprived of over the past 8 years. A president truly sensitive to his nation, who does not fear taking positions. And every right-thinking member of the party has cautioned members, because we even have cause to believe that some of these criminal elements are NPP elements, as we heard from some of the places in the warehouses that, they were stealing fertilizers. Who will go and steal fertilizers? We have just won an election. It was disgruntled members of NPP people who were angry that they kept the fertilizers and didn't distribute the fertilizers, and the various MCs are now trying to move some of those fertilizers. So what is happening is that in the next couple of days, we will bring to Ghanaians the real state of the nation. It is not, so how does the president mean by saying that Ghanaians should ignore? Which Ghanaians is he speaking to? The Ghanaians who just voted him out by some 1.7 million votes? Which Ghanaians is he speaking to ignore the propagandists who say that the economy is broke and that Ghana is not broke? Abba, President Akufo-Addo, Ghana is not broke. You are on a DDEP. You are not paying your local bills. You are not paying your international bills. You owe all your, even your own party people, you owe them. You have not paid the various teams. The various football teams are owed. The Black Queens are owed huge amounts of money. A lot of procurement corruption. It will shock you to the bones. It will shock you to the bones, and the things that you will find, what this government has done to the people of Ghana. And yet our president has no sorry for us. He has no empathy for our pain. He has no regrets for the path he has run this country, other than more self-adulation and telling us that you've left a working country. Right. A country that we are told today is run by tyranny and high-handedness and corruption and the stifling of press freedoms and the erosion of trust in all accountability institutions, from the military to the police to the courts, including the Supreme Court. Why? What is it?
Yes.
At least Ghanaians have spoken.
She has said something.
And that is the most important mandate at present.
The president-elect made a statement about, when we heard about people or foot soldiers taking over offices and threatening and stuff like that. He is a president-elect, but he even still took up the responsibility and spoke. And we still have the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces at post. Now, that brought to mind the government seem to be approbating and reprobating with when they have to appoint, when they have to take major decisions, even in the last dying days, they take them. But when there is responsibility required and duty calls for some decisions to be taken, especially when it comes to security issues, it's as though we've already threw in the towel. We don't have any responsibility. But in the last days of appointment, we're making very serious major decisions. And we say, well, government's still, going. So I'm just wondering
what I can say,
what they leave Ghana with,
is that the president and probably the executive checked out a while ago without telling us. Checked out. When I say checked out, left us to our own fates to decide for ourselves, slept on the job. And anytime it suited the leadership of the country, they would come and tell us things that they think we should know, when we already know probably the reverse. And I say this in terms of his state of the nation. I deemed it the state of the nation's destruction address. It was he addressing a certain, colossal destruction that he did, a few days ago. And I have, a chronology of things I'll talk about. Talk about Galamsey. He didn't tell us how he fought Galamsey, how much money we have invested in Galamsey.
That was the state we needed to know.
Yes, so that is why I'm saying that rather, you, the media, those of us who talk about these things and know them, should have termed it the State of the Nation's Destruction Address.
Oh, the media can do that.
Why not?
I mean, why
not? Tell me.
You are
which
looking
forest
at it.
In this country hasn't been touched? No, please. Which forest in this country has not been touched, including the good old, what do you call it, Achimota Forest, the Dodoa Forest? I schooled in Ghanata Secondary School. It was a revered forest we didn't go to. You are told if you went in there, there are human skulls. So I was there for all this period. I never attempted to enter the forest. Go there, things have happened. I grew up in Tema. Go to the Ramsar site in Tema, around the Sakumon. We used to go there to catch crabs. It's gone. It's gone. And so I wanted to see the president tell us in truth what the state he's left us. And let me mention that the president, probably, I'm expecting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the new administration to deal with hoodlums who took over and beat people. Someone like ASP Jalil, under the previous administration, accosted a police officer called Nanka Bruce, a DSP Nanka Bruce, beat him up.
Okay, if you have the Nanka Bruce video, can we have just an excerpt of it? Because I want to see that and see what's happening also today.
Exactly.
So can we have the Nanka Bruce video? Okay, is that it? Oh yeah.
Yes, that's an Nanka Bruce video. And this ASP Jalil, I'm sure you guys would find his photo somewhere, beat up Nanka Bruce like an animal, went to his home, beat him up, and this happened under the purported human rights activist, lawyer president. And no one punished this DSP. He's still in uniform. Yeah. You know what happened? He led a gang of, criminals in uniform in the Upper West, where I come from. They killed my nephew. From Dondoli, they killed my nephew. My late sister married to someone in Dondoli. They killed someone there. You know what happened? He was quickly brought to Accra, and the AG said, don't prosecute him. He's still in uniform. So if you are watching it and those, I'm sure you are showing it. Mine is that these things happen under President Nana Addo. And I ask that for those of us who probably have seen a bit, was it a coup that took place in 2016? No. And so for these things to happen and these people are still in uniform, I am urging the new leadership. This young man, this Jalil guy, ASP Jalil guy, had been dismissed prior to 2016. You know what happened? The moment MPP won the election, he was reinstated. You know why he was dismissed? He was dismissed because he led a gang of criminals to break into a police armory. He used to be a police officer. So he was tried, convicted, and dismissed. They brought him back, took him to police college. He came back and they posted him to, the Upper West region. And he said he had formed an anti-robbery gang. And that was when that stretch, the Bole Bamboy Solar area, had one of the, crimes went up so high. Eventually they brought him to Accra, I think MTTD, and the crimes just reduced. He's still roaming, he's still in uniform. And so I am bringing up these things to say, if there are people in the NDC who would want to take the laws into their own hands, for God's sake, NDC won by a landslide. It's huge. There is no need attacking people and beating them. People should resort to the use of the law. Because if you do it, I believe that John Dramani Mahama, if his own brother Abu Gapele was convicted, it means that anybody at all is not above the law under this president. That's my take. And then also, in terms of the state of the nation, as we speak, are you aware that when you go to Iyoko, they are doing promotions there? The president didn't tell us. How can you be exited? The Iyoko boss, Mami Ati, will be exited. And you are appointed a director of investigations. So that if the oral team are supposed to investigate, you would have had your person there to investigate the person. I mean, you can't approbate and reprobate. No. There is, what do you call it? GR. Yesterday I intercepted some documents with payment, huge payments that Madame Julia Essien or whatever, she's attempting to make. And the question is that, listen, I am the immediate past vice chairman of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry. You know how much contractors are owed in this country? Over 25 billion Ghana cedis. Every contractor you know in Ghana has not been paid. Every contractor you know in Ghana are owed over 25 billion. And so that is the state of the distraction the president should have probably addressed. He didn't. I've spoken about Galamsey. I've spoken about the payment that are going on. You know what he did? And he was mocking us. I don't know whether you noticed. He was all joyous. He was laughing. He was. And I thought that, hello, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief. Ghana has never gone to war. Ghana, I mean, we are, Ghana relatively peaceful. I drove to this place, no one even threw a stone into my car. How dare you promote people to four-star generals? You know how this happens? Probably when the US or those countries that love to go to war, they go and they come back and they say, we are moving you from this star to this star. So literally, what he has done by implication, about 21 commanders have been moved from 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star. So what he has done, how can you build a house with the top heavier, even our legs? God has a reason why he created us.
What does that mean?
What it means is that he's literally tied His Excellency John Mahama's hand behind him, not to be able to do anything with the military.
How?
And create, yes, because then if the top is heavy, who are you going to promote? There are people who are due to be promoted. You left them promote. I'll mention names. Promoted these people. So you have.
So let me ask.
I sat here and I did the analysis with you with regards to how the garrisons and the security officers were going to vote.
Yes, the
and
voting
it came
situation.
to life, right? 70%. Are you with me?
Yes.
70% of security officers voted against the outgoing government. So for you to not have realized this and still did all these promotions, if you ask me, what you have left is apathy among the ranks. Serious apathy among the ranks. I mean, what's the name? CDS, Pepra. Yesterday I was at the inauguration ground and I saw his car. They've slapped it with some stars, 4-star. Immediately. And he did this because he wants to get COAS. COAS is married to the family, the chief of army staff. And he even promoted the guy in Kumasi, Boku. All those people have been promoted. You see, and these are some of the people that have violated our rights. Violated our rights. The team that led the infamous invasion of Parliament, when the 8th Parliament, the military officers
and we still don't know who gave the command,
have all been so promoted. So, my dear, my dear Annie,
who led the invasion of Parliament?
I'm not saying my dear Cecilia Dapa. So I'm coming down to when I say my dear Annie. So you have the humongous stealing of our money.
That's an allegation.
No, wait, please. If you say it's an allegation,
yes,
you see, in law they say he who alleges must prove.
Yes.
But you see, there's a caveat there. If you got me with money that I cannot substantiate. That I cannot substantiate how I got the
process
money.
Is a process.
Unaccounted for wealth. It is up to me to show you how I came about the wealth, right? Nanado said, I know you will be vindicated. You see, I'm saying all this because some of us want a situation. My sister Rabi. You see, some of us want a country where people will be afraid to loot. I'm showing you this document here and I'm saying military lands that have been sold. People should be afraid. But you see, some of us growing up, we didn't grow up in an affluent home. So if there was a tin of milk that is in the fridge. Sometimes you go and usually they'll put some the tin milk paper on it. You remove it and sip small. You know the half, that tin milk, the half of it that is remaining. The next day is for the whole family. So when you are going to try to steal a bit of it, you are afraid. But we got to a point where those who allegedly were looted in front of the old man, President Nana Addo. And nothing happened. He stood when his apologist stood, and actually, but I think, what's his name? Buntumi was standing there, and he said, there's no evidence. Meanwhile, there was a paper there that shows that he didn't have what it required to invade that forest. You ask me out, so I'm just going on, sir. You know, sir, shouldn't the president have been apologizing? Shouldn't the president should have been apologizing?
It was very important for the president to have mentioned.
Should have been apologizing to what my brother here said about the Boku area. All courts in the Boku area were closed down.
But it's regrettable. Is that not another way of saying I'm sorry?
Yes. So
no. What I'm trying to say is that the president, you see, the president failed to catalog some of these things. And for me, it is not funny. The way he didn't attach any seriousness to his final state of the nation. So
what the president obviously sought to do was to line up things he thought he had done that was beneficial to the nation, and maybe to my observation, things that didn't go well. I heard a shout from the minority side about the cathedral.
Well, so you see, let me tell you
that he hadn't given any reports about the cathedral. So there were things that the president, the destructive things.
That's what I'm saying, that it should have been the final state of the nation's destruction address. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Which, I mean, we should have told it that way. And I'm saying this because
I can't.
Well, I'm just terming it as the final state of the nation's destruction address. Because if you look at the chronology of destructions that we saw, where you have sharp-mouthed young people within Flagstaff House who stay on Facebook and social media 24/7. You say anything, criticize the administration, they will come at you. One of them, I think, Korobia Santio, they would insult you. And you ask yourself, these are young people who are probably young enough to be your children. And we live in a country, you see, to crown it. I respect the First Lady so much. Beautiful woman. But you see, when the president went around kneeling and begging Ghanaians to vote for him, he knew he was taking up a public office, isn't it? Thank you. So is it Ama Kofi Boa also who said the president, he said something. I can't remember what exactly he said.
In his response.
In his response. The president's wife, Her Excellency, the First Lady, she wasn't happy. Who pays the president? Is it not Ama Kofi Boa? Does the president pay tax? Per our law, the president doesn't pay tax.
I think that video her handlers didn't
for me,
help
I was
her.
expecting the first lady. Please let me.
Yes.
Let me. The first lady. Please let me. You see, well, let me go.
The handlers couldn't prove that it was deliberately kept out.
Please, the first lady.
Strategically.
The first lady should have been humble enough to be quiet, because you see, they said behind every successful man,
there's a woman.
Behind every unsuccessful man,
you see the humility you expect of
behind the successful. Please let me go on. Behind a successful man, people say what?
There's a woman.
Behind every unsuccessful man,
there's Baumia.
Please no. You see, so that line must flow. Behind
but in this success,
man would also be a woman, and because please let me. When they were doing the ping-pong sirens and moving everybody away, Madam was so enjoying it. Then when we criticize the president, you say, you speaker, you sat there for people to take. Have forgotten we pay the president, and for his lifetime he won't pay any tax till he leaves the surface of the earth. We have the right to criticize, and so for me, some of us spoke, and will continue to talk. Mine is that, like I said, Annie, President Nana Addo had let me tell you what. I believed so much Nana Addo was going to do well. If anybody had told me Nana would not do well, listen, under Nana Addo, media men were arrested and detained. Some of them, their laptops are still with the NIB. some of them's laptop. And I sit back and I say, how did we get here? And when you talk, these people will not mind you. So it got to a point that, well, if Annie and her colleagues call some of us and say, this thing is happening, we had to say so that it will go and record. But it's not as if the president would act. But I must congratulate a minister like Kandapa. Yeah. He stabilized the national security, largely. I met him yesterday at I went to observe what was going on, and he stabilized it. Because the next first term, the national security, they just went haywire, beating people, arresting people. But I think that eventually, the national security now began to do some of the things that some of us felt they should be doing. You know, you see them in their Katamantu jackets, you know, and with Gota, and telling everybody, I'm a national security officer. You know, which intelligence officer would be flashing things and letting you know at a fufu joint that, you know what, I'm an intelligence officer. So, Annie, I think that the President's State of the Nation Distractions Address, he shouldn't have been mocking us, because if you ask me, listen, from Hamile, I've repeated, to Teshi, which is not far away from here, all our lands that were bequeathed to us have been sold. So today, if we have to probably build any infrastructure, and we thought Kwame Nkrumah and our forefathers left us lands, we have to now go back to the chiefs and renegotiate. And the president said what? Agenda 1113 is finished. Agenda 1113. Why couldn't we do probably 40 and finish 20?
Actually, that was misleading.
The 3 is misleading?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not a hospital.
It's not a it's what?
It's a building.
It's a building.
It's a
hospital is when it is functional. So it means at 0. So mine is that, you see, I think we've gotten to a stage in this country where we must look each other in the eye and say that, you know, things have been destroyed. And if you doubt it, look at the numbers MPP got.
Right.
If you look at the numbers MPP got and you are still not believing it, and you think that, oh, people didn't come out to vote, and you won't say that maybe there used to be some stealing that used to go on, allegedly, and put your acts together and work. I want to believe that even the Makokwe team that they put together to do all this, I mean, Honorable Makokwe is part of the problem.
But that's
part of the problem, because I think, as an elder, the BJ, that Rocha and co left their back. They left everything to Honorable Makokwe. But they did not also see what was going on. So today they said he should lead a team. You know the report that will come out. The report that is likely to be given to the MPP, if you ask me, it's likely to be misleading. They should have looked for probably the Apia Kubis, those who spoke against the ills. Because a lot of the people who saw the things some of us saw within the MPP and spoke about them, what happened? Kendo Foriata and his people sabotaged them and made sure that these people, when you won't see, you see Kenya, you won't get to it. Today, you see,
so, well, it's a decision for the party to take. I think the NDC went through elections. What they suffered, they sat as a party, did their own reports, looked into the reports, and dots the I's and cross the T's. So as a political party MPP, if you want to tickle yourselves and laugh, that will go against you in the next election. So that's your decision, because the voting is not done by you, neither is it done by NDC, it's done by the Ghanaian people. Whatever you think, if it's propaganda, if it's the truth, if whatever it is, you will see the real reflection of it in the votes. You agree?
Good. So even my opening today simply says I was clearly preempting what you just said. I said it clearly. I was part of the last neck. I know what transpired. And whatever decision is taken or has been made by the NPP should just be left as such by that Mr. Bonner. You see, when I spoke about the observation, reaction, and inclusivity of the neutrals in this country, I knew exactly what I was talking about. And suddenly, the table has just swiftly changed in this room. I got super excited when he spoke about the reaction that we should be expecting from Madam, Her Excellency, Nana Opoku-Agyeman, that if she ever gets herself in a situation of being sidelined or an attempt of being crippled, she was going to react. Is it not what we got from this room? Now, this is the catch. She is a woman that we are all very proud about. He boldly said she would react to it. Now, this is another woman who felt that her husband was disrespected in her words and observation and chose to react. You can talk about being measured. You can talk about ladylike acts, but we shouldn't. And it will be entirely unfair for Madam, Mrs. Rebecca Kufuor, for anybody to sit and say she shouldn't have reacted. She's a human being with blood running through her body. She felt no, what the man said about her husband wasn't true.
Which was?
I remember hearing a comment like he was presenting misleading figures. The second one I heard was also that he was the worst president ever in this country. I don't know, and I can't speak to the particular or specific reaction she was, or issue she was reacting to. But what I want to basically say is that he hailed another woman who would stand tall and react, and now condemning the other who is equally reacting to a point that she felt was unfair to her. That is still not fair.
So what exactly was, let's agree to disagree, but what exactly was unfair to her?
Yes, saying she doesn't have the right to react. And that behind every successful woman, man should be a woman, and that her posturing or her reaction wasn't acceptable and all that. I don't want to quote him verbatim because I can't only paraphrase.
So the reason, when I saw the video, I was very shocked.
Yeah.
In the sense that I wasn't expecting her to have been caught on camera that way. The reason I blamed her handlers, and I always go back to the handlers, even when it has to do with the president, I go to the handlers. And diplomat is here, you can agree or disagree, and he can confirm. When you have your handlers...
Just imagine Speaker's wife. Just imagine Speaker's wife. Because I saw Madam's posture towards
the Speaker.
Be disrespectful.
Yes.
You think Speaker doesn't have an equal wife? So
to also raise concerns.
Just imagine Speaker's wife, as we speak, comes out to react to the way mine is.
So the reason
these are public offices.
Okay, so the reason
when they are in public office, what they are, their wives should be decorated.
Exactly. So the reason, hold on. The reason I was raising these concerns is that, to be honest with you, we do not have an office for the first ladies nor the second ladies. We recognize them because they are spouses of the people we voted, and we're expecting that they will give them their emotional, domestic, love and everything support. But handlers should be able to let them know that, listen, your husband is moving from this point to that point. And at this point, this is how it goes, right? So it can go whichever way. And you have to be able to have the skin for it. Nana Addo himself has called former President Mahama incompetent.
Professor
Doolittle
was referred to
Vice President ever with how did his wife respond?
You know very well. I'm not reacting to the fact that she was reacting because of the comment. You know very well. I'm just saying that she is human enough to also to have committed a mistake.
The way she wants to.
Let me tell you, Annie, no matter the chunk of handlers you would have, there is always a bad day. You do very well on Metro TV.
So this was a bad
day. And don't say that you are forever going to be perfect on the show. Likewise, Mr. Bonner.
Okay, so that's what I am saying. So you're admitting, right?
What I am saying, well, you can call it admission or what. We all watched the video. And the woman we know for these 8 years that we have been under her leadership would have us all say our admiration. Even people who didn't belong or don't still belong to the NPP would tell you she's a perfect lady. Okay. So if we all find, actually I see nothing wrong with that video, sincerely, because I'm human like her. I know she is a full packaged woman, a lady of course.
Diplomatically,
not a young woman.
Diplomatically, it doesn't look good.
I agree with you, but of course, we all have our days. Annie, there were days you just come and do something that if you recheck, you will say, I would have done better than this. Okay. Now, let me move on. I'm still reacting. Is it not my turn to talk?
Yes, you will talk.
So let me continue. Or I should give you some time.
Just give me some few minutes. Let me take a short break. Okay. We're back. I've been given some few minutes, so we can get some, maybe 2 minutes each to wrap up. Yes, I will give you the chance. Let me take a breather. We'll be back shortly.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver.
Again.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN rewards, sir. Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead put on.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blend, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of this serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th year anniversary. joining the celebration by becoming an estate master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
Hello, thank you for calling MTN.
This is Jerry, Jolly J for short.
How may I help?
I'm not happy with you guys at all. You've been giving Bongo gifts all the time.
Who is Bongo?
Oh, Bongo, my friend. He purchased in my room.
Oh.
You've been giving free gifts, but I don't.
That's MTN Rewards. Talk, text, browse, and more, and you get to redeem free call time or data by simply dialing *550#. And on Fridays, you can even get extra special rewards like food vouchers, shopping discounts, and much more.
Didn't tell me anything. Would you like to know how I got the name Jolly J?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Jolly. Calling customer care service doesn't give you points.
I'm gonna call my mom. I'll call my grandma. I'll call my ex. That girl can talk, Papa. Hello, Mama. So what's the topic for today?
MTN.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRICOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRICOP with cocoa blends, palm blend, and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRICOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of this serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Joining the celebration by becoming an estate master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver.
Okay. I have just very limited time. I just want to say good morning to Mr. Gabi Ochre-Dako. Good morning to you. He's watching us.
Yeah, greeting who?
Gabi Ochre-Dako. Yes.
Okay, maybe he's watching, you said.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
So he's hearing everything we are saying?
Yes.
He's
That you
hearing.
messed up completely.
Oh, what?
Oh.
So you say he's watching?
It's not as if he agrees with you.
Oh, he has to agree.
And another doesn't
He was a de facto prime
So, Annie,
minister.
let's go. You said there is no time, so let's continue.
Just one thing that I actually want all of you to do, just in case we forget. Let me just note that now before we forget. Today is a birthday. You know?
Of Dr. Randy.
Of
Abby.
Who?
No, Dr. Randy.
Randy. Hi.
Yes.
Oh, my boss.
Today is his birthday.
So we should sing happy birthday. For him.
You can sing?
Yeah, happy birthday
to Randy.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Randy, happy birthday.
Oh,
Charlie.
Happy birthday to him. No, for me, it's mine. It was my one yesterday.
We have to go and come for the party.
Oh, we are not.
I have a recording to do, right?
Yes, please, you do.
Okay,
Okay,
so we are wrapping up his media career.
Right. So we're wrapping up. So, Haja, I'll actually just let you give me, I beg you, my time is up. The sports team is coming over, so we will just have to exit the studio. And as we wrap up, we'll just take note of the swearing-in activities that's coming, maybe 1 minute each, then we can get out.
So, in wrapping up, moving from, so of course, it's Women Affairs today, so we'll just continue with that. Madam wasn't actually being addressed. Well, that is fine. Also, on the issue of school feeding, when my sister said all the beneficiaries were NPP women organizers, that is untrue. We had women, and even if we want to even go by equalization, in 2009, we had women from the NDC who equally had issues with school feeding and saying they were women organizers of the NDC. So even if we want to say that, then we would say, yes, they started and we continued. However, it shouldn't be that. And I'm glad she's taking that tangent. So I expect that moving forward, granted we gave to some of our women who are women organizers and some women of the country, I expect that the NDC would open it up as Madam Shamima is talking about, and we would see women beneficiaries of the school feeding who are not NDC women organizers. Also, on the issue of promotions and all that, I want to humbly ask Doc, and sorry for not using the Doc from onset. Thanks for prompting me. I just want to know if it is on meritocracy that you are talking about their promotion, they are not competent enough, they are not supposed to be promoted, or it's out of order or law that they have been promoted.
Well, there is no law forbidding the president from doing this shabby promotions.
You call it?
But yes, I say that.
You have interesting words.
You call it.
Wait. Let me, please. That's my opinion. I'm free.
Yeah,
to
you're free
express.
to.
For me,
Yes.
I'm free to express my opinion.
Yes.
It's up to you how you take it.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
I'm a tax-paying citizen, and therefore the president said in his inaugural plagiarized address that we should be citizens and not spectators. And so all that I am trying to say is that to promote someone to a 4-star general, unless you are equating us to some not so stable countries where people through bloodlines and family lines are promoted. If not, Ghana in peacetime, how do you promote and so effectively? And by implication, you have had 1 star to 2 stars, 3 star to 4 stars. So you ask yourself, have we gone to war?
Okay.
So
the weight of the 4-star.
The weight of a 4-star general. You say 4-star general, listen, it's you can't. And so you see, our armed forces is well respected. He knows it, very well respected. I'm not going to take anything away from the CDS. Do you understand me? But if I were the CDS, and of course I would say COA doesn't deserve it. But if I was a CDS, in fact, I would have actually, declined respectfully. Because you see, at a certain table, you are going to meet people who have fought in various, been sent on various peace tours in terms of conflict areas, fought in wars, and they come back and they are not promoted.
Okay.
And so for me, it's just to let her know that the president should have just waited. Have you forgotten of the awards? I'm sure it's also, and so mine is that these are things probably he should have just left. If he thought that these people were deserving, should have left it, let the new administration come in and do this program. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Annie, I'll take it as information and still go to learn more on that. Also, I want to say, But you say I should land. I'm landing. Finally, that I've started hearing words like rationalization versus removal of e-levy. Well, the voters are in this country. They are still watching. It's going to be what we promised versus what is being delivered to us.
Okay.
It is of high expectation from my end that neutrals in this country, the CSOs, all stakeholders, especially the media, that they come clean and clear to point it out, because I am not actually saying they will fail, because I can't say, I don't have the capacity of seeing what will happen tomorrow. But knowing the NDC and knowing the leadership that we are seeing being mentioned, I pray that we don't get to hear more of Yenti Obia. We don't get to hear more of dead goat syndrome. We don't get to hear more of doomsaw. We don't get to hear the meaning of removal versus rationalization. We don't get to hear further excuses.
Okay.
We expect a reset and a very effective reset.
So I mean, I just
you accept the concept of reset.
Oh, Ghanaians have told you to go on with it, so we expect it.
Thank you
We
so
are
very much.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes, please.
Unfortunately for the New Patriotic Party, they shouldn't be very quick in assuming that they are home free. As I said, their expectation, the MPP's expectations, if they should have any, should be about how they justify their 8-year mandate. That is what they must.
We are trying to do that.
They must wake up every day trying to find ways of justifying their actions and inactions over the past 8 years. At least for the first year, they ought not to have any expectations of anybody other than the expectations of themselves. Tomorrow, in fact, tonight at midnight, we hear the 8th Parliament will close its unique chapter, and unique it has been in the history of our nation. And at the stroke of midnight, upon the election of a new Speaker of Parliament, again, another historic event, S.K. Bagwin, Honourable Speaker of Parliament for the 8th Parliament, stands to be the only person in the history of our 4th Republic who would likely do a second term as Speaker of Parliament. So, Upper West, we are proud of you, Honourable Bagwin. And indeed, we are proud of you, Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagwin. Well done, you. We wish you well in your role in the next Parliament. And as we usher in the 9th Parliament, a unique one, of course, a one that ushers in, again, unprecedented, the majority, the biggest ever majority that we hope and we pray and we know we would use for the good of this country. And tomorrow, as we swear in our history-making president, the comeback king, John Dramani Mahama, the man of destiny, whose chapter is not yet closed, and which new beginnings begin tomorrow, together with another historic candidate, Professor J. Nano Opoku-Agyeman, we, the members of the Katamanso family, we are happy, we are glad, our heart is full of gratitude to God, to the people of Ghana, and we wish Ghana all the best. And we know that Sandobe and his team will put together a beautiful curated event, never before seen yet again in the history of swearing-ins. And whilst we are at it, let the NPP be minded that the tone of our adversarial politics was set in 1966.
They will take you off. We've had a two-term speaker in this country. Justice D.F. Annan.
Let's hear from that.
No, I'm putting.
Let's hear from.
He was two-term speaker. I'm just adding
to that. Thank you.
He was two-term speaker.
For that correction. I've read that Bagwin was going successive.
No. D.F. was two-term. You can check that.
Thank you. Okay, what is the hyperactiveness?
I'm just adding.
So NDC has always.
I'm sorry. Let's hear from him. Our time will wrap up.
Two terms.
MPP, learn your lesson.
We are fine.
No, you are not.
Let me
wrap up fine.
With the 1 minute you have given me by saying that the mandate of President John Mahama is overwhelming. But President John Mahama is fully aware of the high levels of expectation. in this legacy term of his. And my excitement is his invitation to all Ghanaians, not to some Ghanaians, to all political parties, not some political parties, to join him in the agenda of political reforms that becomes the anchor for the economic revival, for the prosperity of all Ghanaians.
Right.
And to do that with fairness and inclusion and transparency that makes us to be uplifted. And finally,
Amen.
That tomorrow, as we now begin the journey into the transition and to his inauguration, the whole world is celebrating Ghana. The international community is celebrating Ghana. Not less than 10 heads of state and other visiting dignitaries will be on our land. Let us accept that we have made successes, but we must interrogate where we have challenges and make sure we don't repeat those mistakes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you to my guests. I've seen message because I was moving from you. They will take me off.
1 minute.
They will take me off.
Yeah, so
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I want to congratulate the Speaker, for his nomination to be the Speaker of the 9th Parliament, and also probably recommend, if they can make A+, I think the second Deputy Speaker. I mean, I think he will be good. I think he will be good, and probably he will bring some dynamism.
Balance.
He's young enough, and as an independent, yes, I'm making a recommendation. I mean, it's an opinion. I'm making a recommendation. So, and then I've just been informed that the President has pardoned Atuasian, the convict who was convicted for yes, has pardoned him. I mean, unconfirmed, but I'm told it's pardoned him. I'm not sure how truthful that. I think tomorrow, if you ask me, I will say it is a redeclaration of independence, because some of the things some of us saw, if you ask me, were not pleasing, because in a democracy, these things should never have happened, and we saw them. And so I want to believe and, congratulate the president-elect, as is going to be sworn in tomorrow, and then the vice president-elect, and everybody. I think we should all join hands and hope that we are going to live in a very prosperous Ghana from tomorrow going. No brutalization, please.
All right.
If those who are watching me, after the swearing in, don't go beating people. Let's use the law.
They have started. They are already doing it.
I'm sure they will do that.
They have started. They have started.
And it's people to
they are vandalizing.
Okay.
They are vandalizing.
So I see you.
I should speak for myself as well. They have started.
Thank you for watching.
And that's wrong.
Send the messages. I see that.
They have started and it's
for your
wrong.
time.
And wrong should
Metro
not be
TV will
repeated
start
all the
with
time.
you on the swearing-in ceremony tonight.
Wrong.
So stay with us as your election central, as the MPs will be sworn in, and then the president-elect will be sworn in tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching the program. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Good morning. Enjoy the rest of our programs.